Wow. Emma, look at this cheese counter. It is absolutely huge. I have never seen so many different kinds of cheese in one place.
I know. Isn't it wonderful? This is my favorite part of the supermarket. I could spend a whole hour just looking at all the different shapes, colors, and textures.
I find it a little bit intimidating, to be honest. There must be over 100 types here. I never know what to choose, so I always just buy the same pre-sliced cheddar cheese every week.
That is a very common problem. The world of cheese is very big, and it can be overwhelming if you don't have a guide.
You know a lot about cheese, don't you? You always bring the most interesting selections to parties.
I do love cheese. It's a real passion of mine. If you like, I can give you a quick little tour of the cheese counter. I can introduce you to some of the main categories.
I would love that. Please be my cheese guide. I am ready for my lesson.
It would be my pleasure. Let's start with the cheese that you already know and like. Cheddar. It is one of the most popular cheeses in the world.
Yes, I love cheddar. It is great for sandwiches and burgers. But even here, there are so many different kinds of cheddar. This one is called mild, and this one is called extra sharp. What is the difference?
That is a great question. The main difference is the age of the cheese. Mild cheddar is a young cheese. It has only been aged for 2 to 3 months. It has a very gentle, milky, and creamy flavor.
So mild means it has a light flavor?
Exactly. Sharp or mature cheddar has been aged for much longer, sometimes for over a year. The aging process gives the cheese a much stronger, more complex, and tangier flavor. Extra sharp is aged for even longer, sometimes for 2 or 3 years.
So the older the cheese, the stronger the flavor. That makes so much sense. I think I have always been buying mild cheddar. Maybe I should be more adventurous and try a sharp one next time. I have learned so much about cheddar already. What is another important type of cheese that I should know about?
Let's move on to a completely different category: fresh cheeses. These are cheeses that are not aged at all. The most famous example is right here: mozzarella.
Ah, mozzarella. Of course I know this one from pizza. I love how it gets so stringy and melted when it's cooked.
That stringy, stretchy texture is its most famous quality. This is fresh mozzarella, sold as a soft, white ball in water. This keeps it from drying out.
It looks so soft and delicate. What does it taste like when it is not cooked on a pizza?
Fresh mozzarella has a very mild, milky, and slightly sweet flavor. It does not have a strong taste at all. It is prized more for its soft, moist texture. It is delicious in a simple salad with fresh tomatoes, basil, and a little olive oil. So, we have talked about a hard, aged cheese, like cheddar, and a soft, fresh cheese like mozzarella. Now let's look at another very famous category.
What is that?
The soft, ripened cheeses. The most famous example is this one right here, Brie.
Brie. I have seen this at parties before. It always looks very fancy. It has that white, powdery-looking skin on the outside. What is that?
That white layer is called the rind, and it is completely edible. In fact, it is a very important part of the cheese. It is a type of harmless, edible mold that helps the cheese to ripen from the outside in.
So, you eat the skin too? I did not know that. What does brie taste like?
A good brie is incredibly creamy, smooth, and buttery. The flavor is quite mild and nutty. It is best to eat it at room temperature, not cold from the fridge. When it warms up, the inside becomes soft and almost runny. It is delicious on a piece of crusty bread.
Creamy, buttery, and nutty. That sounds delicious. I will have to try some brie at the next party. Now, what about that cheese over there? The one with the blue lines all through it.
Ah, you have spotted one of my favorites. That is blue cheese.
It looks a bit strange, to be honest. It looks like it has gone bad. Are those blue lines a type of mold?
You are absolutely right. It is a type of mold. But just like the white rind on the brie, it is a special, completely safe, and delicious kind of mold.
It just looks so unusual. I am a little bit scared to try it. What does it taste like?
I will admit that blue cheese is not for everyone. It has a very strong, bold flavor. It is quite salty, very tangy, and has a very sharp taste. It is not a mild cheese at all. But if you like strong flavors, it can be incredibly delicious.
A very strong, salty, and tangy flavor. I am an adventurous eater, so I think I should probably try it at least once.
I think you should. There are many different kinds. Some, like Danish blue, are quite creamy. Others, like Stilton from England, are more crumbly. Now, I have a question for you, David. What do all the cheeses we have talked about so far have in common?
Let me think. Cheddar, mozzarella, brie, blue cheese. I know, they are all made from cow's milk.
You are exactly right. But it is important to know that delicious cheese can be made from other types of milk too.
Like what? What other animals give us milk for cheese?
The other two main types are goat's milk and sheep's milk. Look, this white log of cheese here is a classic French goat cheese, or chèvre. And this white crumbly cheese in the brine is feta, which is traditionally made from sheep's milk.
I have had feta cheese in Greek salads. It is very salty and tangy. I did not know it was made from sheep's milk.
The type of milk makes a big difference to the final flavor of the cheese. Goat's milk cheese, for example, often has a very distinct, earthy, and tangy flavor that is different from cow's milk cheese.
This is all so fascinating.
You have opened up a whole new world of food for me. I feel very inspired now. I have an idea for our dinner tonight.
What is your idea?
Instead of cooking a big meal, why don't we buy a few different types of cheese, some bread, and some fruit, and have a cheese board for dinner?
David, that is the best idea you have had all week. I would love that. A cheese board is such a simple, elegant, and delicious meal.
So, as the expert, what is the secret to creating a good cheese board?
How do we choose the right cheeses for our cheese board? Should we just buy all of our favorites?
The most important rule for a good cheese board is to have a variety. You want to have a selection of different textures and flavors for you and your guests to enjoy.
A variety. So we shouldn't just buy 3 different types of hard cheese.
Exactly. A good, simple board for beginners would have at least 3 different cheeses. First, something hard and familiar, like the sharp cheddar we talked about. Second, something soft and creamy, like the Brie. And third, something a little more adventurous, like a small piece of blue cheese.
Hard, soft, and blue. That is a very easy rule to remember. And what should we eat with the cheese?
You need some kind of bread or cracker to be the vehicle for the cheese. A simple, plain cracker or a sliced, crusty baguette is the best choice. You don't want a cracker with a strong flavor that will compete with the taste of the cheese. And besides the crackers, it is always a wonderful idea to add something sweet to your cheese board.
Something sweet? Like what kind of things?
The sweetness provides a delicious contrast to the saltiness of the cheese. Fresh fruits are perfect. Things like grapes, sliced apples, or figs are classic choices. A small pot of honey or some fruit jam is also a wonderful addition.
That sounds amazing. The mix of salty, creamy cheese with sweet fruit and crunchy crackers must be a perfect combination of flavors and textures.
It is. Now, as we are choosing our cheeses, I can give you one more important tip. It is about how to store the cheese when you get it home.
That is a good point. I usually just keep it in the plastic wrap that the supermarket uses. Is that wrong?
It is not ideal. Cheese is a living thing, and it needs to breathe. Wrapping it tightly in plastic wrap can trap moisture and can actually make the cheese go bad faster.
So, plastic wrap is not good for cheese. What should I use instead?
The best thing to use is special cheese paper, which you can buy at a kitchen store. But a simple piece of wax paper or parchment paper works very well too. You just wrap the cheese loosely in the paper, and then you can put it in a plastic container in the fridge.
Wrap it in paper first. I'll remember that. Thank you for that expert tip. Okay, I am ready to make our selection for tonight's dinner.
This is the fun part. So, what have we decided on?
Let's follow your rule. We will get a nice, sharp English cheddar for our hard cheese and a beautiful, creamy French brie for our soft cheese.
Excellent choices. And for our third cheese, the adventurous one, should we get a small piece of that mild blue cheese? I think it would be a good one for you to start with.
Let's do it. I am ready to be brave. And we will get a box of plain crackers and a big bunch of red grapes. This is going to be the best dinner ever.